Hi, my name is Anthony Merlino, and I'm going to try to recap to the best of my ability the last 30 plus years from the time I first met my wife, Kathy Merlino, back when she was 17. I think I was 19. So, yes, very different meeting someone hard of hearing at that time. She was hard of hearing. She wasn't completely deaf like she is today. She had probably a 50% hearing loss. And, the first thing I had to get adjusted to was making sure that no matter how I was expressing myself, that, she could see my face, she could see my lips, so she could read my lips and understand exactly what I was saying in its entirety. And so that was the first change, was, like I said, making sure that whatever we were talking, communicating, whenever I was trying to communicate with her, that she could see me. And then letting other people know that we're in our company the same thing, so that Kathy never missed out. So I was always cognizant of the fact that she had limitation, and I would always bring that to other people's attention so that she wouldn't miss anything, because that was very important to me, was making sure that whatever I heard or whatever I experienced was also translated so that she could do the same and experience that same moment in time, if you will. So that was first impression. Well, and then before that, when I first met her, didn't really know that she had hearing loss, and so I thought she was just rude, because here I was, really trying, really working extremely hard to get this pretty woman's attention, only to have her not respond. And so I thought she was just rude. Meanwhile, she couldn't hear a word I was saying. It happened to be at a dark nightclub. So anyhow, that's the first experience I had. And then over the years, I think about special moments. The first thing that comes to mind is the birth of my three children. And so my son Michael, who's going to be 25 this July, my son Brandon, who's 22, my daughter Megan, who you all know very well, who's 18 and is a senior at Arlington High School. And so, during the birth of our children, most people take for granted that, if you're in the operating room experiencing delivery of your children, you're wearing a mask. And so if I'm wearing a mask, my wife can't understand a word I'm saying, no matter what I'm saying, and she can't understand a word that the physicians are saying or the nursing staff. And so think about that, put that into perspective for half a second. Here's the greatest moment of your life, right? So multiplied times 3 in my case, for you and your spouse, your significant other. And, she's trying to understand, what are they telling me to do? And of course, adrenaline and all these other things are coming into play. It's a birth, a live birth, and oh my goodness, what do you mean they can't be delivered naturally and you have to go in by C-section? Try to tell that to your wife and see her reaction. But the bottom line is, I had to use sign language. And so that takes me back to when my wife went to Gallaudet College in Washington, D.C. And another experience that comes to mind is when I went to go visit. And I would go visit pretty much every weekend because I wanted to be with her. And, come to find out that she was the least affected by hearing loss, because there were folks there who were born deaf, completely deaf, and came to experience the hearing world versus the deaf world. And here was, her hearing, my wife's hearing boyfriend, coming to visit her in a deaf community, and, wow, would they accept me? And, what would I have to do to earn their trust? And all these things that you just never think about until you're immersed into it. And so, those are the 3 big events, right? So first meeting her, experiencing the deaf world at Gallaudet College in Washington, D.C., and then the birth of my 3 children. Those are the 3 things that come to mind really quickly, and I can go on for hours, but I think the class would probably be asleep. Thank you for your time.